Okay. Hi students. Today I'm going to explain you something a very important part of your prelims preparation, and it's a very unique part of your prelims journey. The students struggling with the prelims examination. Something today I'm going to explain you very unique on the Gold Tide platform, and you have to understand this as soon as possible. You understand this, you will be easy विद द प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. आप इजिली उसको क्लियर करोगे, बट देन यू हैव टू मेक दैट एनवायरमेंट द स्टूडेंट स्ट्रगलिंग विद द प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. थोड़ा सा आप ध्यान दो, टाइम निकाल के यू अंडरस्टैंड टुडे. Okay, now the most important reason you are failing in UPSC prelims examination is, the very first is newspaper. ओके आपने न्यूज़पेपर को इतना दूर कर दिया है खुद से. यू आर डिपेंडिंग मोर ऑन द न्यूज़पेपर मैगजीन्स, मैगजीन्स, मंथली मैगजीन्स, और एंड in place of that you have just discarded it like anything. Okay, and the reason is very clear, because in the span of 8 to 10 months you want to clear this UPSC, and syllabus is so vast कि आपको न्यूज़पेपर पे टाइम देना एक बहुत बड़ा एक एक्सपेंसिव आपका टाइम जो है, दैट इज गोइंग ऑन द न्यूज़पेपर एंड यू आर नॉट लाइकिंग इट एट ऑल. तो आप क्या करते हो कि यू जस्ट लीव इट एंड यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग द मैगजीन्स, द कंपाइलेशंस, द एनालिसिस ऑफ द न्यूज़पेपर फ्रॉम हियर एंड देयर, और आपका सारा का ध्यान न्यूज़पेपर पे बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. एंड द सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज यू आर फेलिंग इन दिस प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन इज द टाइमिंग ऑफ योर प्रीलिम्स जर्नी, द प्रीलिम्स प्रैक्टिस, द प्रीलिम्स पैरेलली. You are never moving things parallelly. Okay, for example, right now you are doing your optional, right now you are doing your mains. So nobody is asking you to do prelims examination right now, but when you talk about the prelims examination, it simply means that the content is same but the practice is different, right? अगर एक लक्ष्मीकांत की बुक है और आपने कोई कंटेंट पढ़ रहे हो इस पे, राइट, सपोज द पावर ऑफ द गवर्नर और पावर ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट आप पढ़ रहे हो, देन इट्स सेम फॉर द प्रीलिम्स ऑल्सो, सेम फॉर द मेंस ऑल्सो, बट इट separates when we start practicing prelims and mains, right? So now you have to move parallelly, gradually. अगर आप इस समय, like I suppose, like your more than half of your time is on the mains, तो अगर आप वीकली 3 to 4 आवर्स मिनिमम इतना भी अगर प्रीलिम्स को देने के लिए रेडी नहीं हो, देन इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी इजी पाथ इन द एंड, क्योंकि लास्ट के 3 महीने में यू आर गोइंग टू अचीव नथिंग कैन बी अचीव इन लास्ट 3 months. द काइंड ऑफ पेपर यू आर गेटिंग, यू हैव टू मूव डिफरेंटली. और यही दोनों प्रॉब्लम, दिस 2 प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए दिस ईयर आई एम रियली वर्किंग हार्ड टुवर्ड्स दिस. ओके, सो दैट आपका बर्डन थोड़ा मिनिमाइज हो and you gain lot of knowledge. So if you move towards the Gold Tide platform, the 2 things you can see in our prelims course part is the newspaper document, and दूसरा is Abhyaas session. In the both courses, there are 2 comprehensive courses, and in both the thing you can see these 2 things: newspaper prelims based question weekly and the Abhyaas session to check your performance. Now exactly what these 2 means, I will just explain you next 10 minutes, 15 minutes. बिल्कुल ध्यान से देखना. I am going to give you a demo. Understand this, and then according to requirement, you whatever you want you do. But let understand today. Okay. Now the very first thing is the Abhyaas session. What exactly is the Abhyaas session? It's a weekly newspaper question answer session. Okay, now this question answer session always conducted weekly once in a week, and it's a live, very live, and you have to just come with the pen and the notebook. Okay, and I'm going to ask you the questions related to the last 10 days newspaper. Okay, 10 days newspaper, whatever you studied in the past. For example, I'm going to give you now. Just try to listen it. Now, very first question I asked in the Abhyaas session, for example, till now, how many national emergencies has been imposed? This is the first question I asked in the Abhyaas session. Now, I'm not going to give you 4 options. You have to answer it whether you able to remember, because this has been directly taken from the newspaper. So, you have to understand कि you know this or not, or whether you are able to recall this or not. Why? Because if you see under Article 352, Okay, under article 352 this national emergencies are imposed. Now if you see June 25 is observed as the Samvidhan Hatya Divas. Now this has been recently declared. Okay, now why this has been declared? Understand this. This has been declared in the remembrance of the 1975 emergency announced by center. Okay, now announces center. तो अब क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट वन होगा आपका. स्टेटमेंट वन होगा कि जून 25 टू बी ऑब्जर्व एज अ संविधान हत्या दिवस. एंड सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट होगा कि आपका जून 25 को संविधान हत्या दिवस इसलिए कहा गया है बिकॉज टू रिमेंबर द फर्स्ट टाइम एन इमरजेंसी वॉज इम्पोज इन इंडिया. ओके, to mark that the day when the first time the emergency was imposed in India. These are the two statements. Now second statement jo hai that is incorrect, because if you see the solution is also provided by me. So if you see the solution, I have given you, there are three types of emergency. Three times the emergency has been imposed. The first time in 1962, second time in 1971, and the third time is 1975. Okay, so June 25 has been declared to remember this. Not the first time. It has been declared to remember this 1975 wala emergency, not the very first time when the emergency was imposed. So second statement will be wrong. Okay, तो आपका ये जो क्वेश्चन आंसर फ्रेमवर्क है, this will keep your prelims moving and you will gain lot every week. आप मत सोचो कि एंड में आके आप हर चीज को कवर कर लोगे. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू कवर एवरीथिंग इन द एंड. आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस अगेन because the very first question you will solve in the March, in the January, in the February for the prelims examination is which of the following words were added to the preamble after 42nd Amendment Act. This is not a very good thing. This is unfair to your preparation कि आप end moment पे जब आपको miscellaneous solve करना है तब आप जाके एक basic prelims का question solve कर रहे हो. Now I will give you more example. Now second statement talks about a motion can be introduced in the first reading of the bill. This is the second statement I gave you in the Abhyaas session. It was conducted yesterday only. And the second statement says a motion is moved in the house to refer the bill to the standing committee. Now the parliament session is going on. Now these things are the very minute things which you don't focus. Okay. Now I am just asking you, when the bill is presented in the house, discussion is going on, in the end the bill is put on the vote, right? A motion. Now I am asking you, in the very first reading, what does it mean? When we are introducing bill in the parliament, when we are introducing bill, कि sir, I want to introduce this bill, taking the leave of the house, this is what does it mean, right? So it is asking here that a motion can be introduced at the very first reading also, कि it is against the legislative competence of the house. तो कोई भी reason देके you can oppose the bill introduction stage पे. So this is the first statement, this is second statement. Now if I have given you solution also, you see here. Now if you see here, the bill is introduced, this stage is called the first reading of the house. If the motion for the leave to introduce a bill is opposed, okay, now there's a procedure complete. I'm not going to explain you because this is not something I want to explain in detail. I'm just telling you कि ये statement आपके prelims में आएगा and then you will think कि introduction पे होता है कि नहीं होता है. So these are the minute things, right? You will never study very carefully. Even you study, you won't remember. तो आपका देखो second statement देखो, after a bill has introduced, the presiding officer of the house concerned can refer the bill to the standing committee. So the motion is not passed in the house. Okay, so this is again the second question I asked to my students in the Abhyaas session और उनको ये करवाया. Now if you see the third question I asked, the answer was given in the parliament recently. 100% FDI is in the all power sector of India. Okay, is permitted. And second statement I asked कि public sector owns more than 70% of the total installed power generation capacity in India. मैं उनको बस इतना बोलता हूँ कि ये statement सही है या गलत है. I'm not framing both 1 and 2. मुझे ये चेक नहीं करना आपका. That already I am covering in very extensively in the test series and everything. राइट तो अब आपका देखो इसका भी सॉल्यूशन यहां पे दिया हुआ है. मे बी एक्सेप्ट एटॉमिक एनर्जी, सो ऑल वर्ड यहां पे गलत है. एंड इफ यू सी हियर पब्लिक सेक्टर ने प्राइवेट सेक्टर ऑन्स मोर 52%. 52.5. So obviously public sector is not more than 70. So both statement here are incorrect. So this is the way I am trying. See, very beautiful. I will say, and all these questions are presented to you from the newspaper. So apart from the test series, this is something which will push you, which will make you weekly learn and keep in touch with the prelims examination. ये आपको बहुत जरूरी है अंडरस्टैंड करना कि आपके लाइफ में prelims को चलते रहना चाहिए. It should be alive. Your preparation is going on, right? You can't push this all learning in the end. आप नहीं कर पाओगे, लिख के ले लो आप. It's not possible. Now if you see this statement, as per the Census Act 1948, central government has to put in notification of taking session after every 10 years. This is a simple statement I gave to the students. Okay, and this is beautifully taken from one article in the Indian Express, and that article was saying कि census क्यों नहीं करवा रही central government, right? This population census. Now it was last conducted in 2012. Now what reason the government is giving is कि nobody written in the act that parliament session should this session population census should be conducted after every 10 years. क्या लिखा हुआ है एक्ट में, देखो आप. ये चीज आप कभी खुद से कभी भी you will try to understand on own? Never. Most of you see here, the central government by notification in the official gazette declared its intention to taking a census whenever it may consider it necessary or desirable. जब सेंटर को लगेगा करना चाहिए, then only he will apply for the census. Otherwise, no notification is necessary. It's simple written. It may consider necessary or desirable. Now, statement comes after every 10 years. Most of the students yesterday marked it correct, right? But it was not correct. Right, because it is not 10 years mentioned anywhere in the constitution. अब आप देखो कितना, I have just asked my students when was the first coalition government was formed. अब उनको under which government, right? अब आपको पता है right now that parliament in the assembly, right now in the parliament, no got the majority. It's a coalition government running. Ruling में भी, opposition में. Okay, now you should be knowing when exactly the first coalition government formed in India. If you don't know this, there's no use of reading newspaper. आप बिल्कुल काम नहीं कर रहे. That's why I'm saying you, see, if you see here in the first 4 Lok Sabha elections, the Congress party secured the required majority. The first experience of coalition, the Free India at the union level goes back to 1977 when the Congress force united under leadership of Morarji Desai in the name of Janta Go. So you see here, these statements, these questions, this explanation will turn the table. Okay? अभी आपको चीज समझ में आ रही है तो it's very good. If you are not understanding the power of these sessions, these weekly sessions, you will never understand कि prelims exam का preparation करना है कैसे. You will keep struggling. Okay. Now similarly there are a lot of questions. I'm not going to discuss all the questions. कितना beautifully SDM ODF status किस reason से होता है. Israel is bordered by. You have to answer all these things in your life. You don't have to wait for the options. आपको preparation एकदम बिल्कुल on the spot you have to answer, and explanation too is given to you. So no need to worry. You know very well how explain. So this is all about the Abhyaas session. It will be conducted weekly and it will be explained to you. Now the next thing is about the newspaper prelims document. Now again, this is again a very, very important exercise, and it's a weekly 1 घंटा 1 hour I need for your Abhyaas session. 1 hour to 1.5 hours is for your newspaper. This is a 2.5 hours plus 50 question. It's weekly. If you give me 3 to 4 hours, that's it. This is the only time I'm asking you on the weekly basis. I'm not going to disturb your main syllabus. I'm not going to disturb your optional syllabus. This is what I want from you, and please try to devote. Please try to devote. It's very important if you're struggling. Now, if you see the newspaper prelims document, now this document is an article I give you on the weekly basis. There are 5 articles. Okay, all important articles which contains the prelims stuff. Okay, the prelims question. The prelims का आपके जो statements question आपके prelims exam में आते हैं, उन statements को newspaper में you will find those statements. Okay. Now, if you see the question. If you see this article, behind Russia. This is a newspaper I have given you. Now, if I ask you which body assigns world economy to 4 income group, low, lower, middle, upper, इस 4 income group को, इस 4 income group is divided by which organization and what is the tenure of dividing? Okay, tenure भी लास्ट में पूछा है मैंने आपसे. The classification is based on what and what is the time interval. So if you see in this article, you will get all the answer that World Bank classify economy, okay, into the lower, middle. तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि on what basis it is classifying, that in the term of US dollar categorized, और उसके बाद कितने पैसा से आप लो कहलाओगे, कितना पैसा आपका है पर कैपिटा, आप लोअर मिडिल कहलाओगे, and where India is placed. If you cover these 5 questions, these are the very, very important. If this question will come, definitely questions are going to come from this. So this is a very important exercise weekly you have to perform. The question is there and the explanation you have to find in the document. Okay, now if I explain you something more, this suppose this is the article. Okay, now India records the trade deficit with 9 of the top trading partner in 2023 and 24. Okay, if you see more article, just I will explain you this and then you will come to know what is a newspaper prelims document. Now, this article contains few questions related to your prelims examination. Now, if you see this article, the top 10 trading partner in India in the last 2 financial years of India. Now, you have to write about the top 10 trading partner with India in the last 2 financial years. Now, if you see in this article, you see here, they are top 10 trading partner. Now, I have asked you 2. This is for the current year. Okay. Now, you have, why have I asked you 2? Because I want you to know कि कौन सी कंट्री थी जो लास्ट टाइम नहीं थी और इस टाइम है, और इस टाइम है जो लास्ट टाइम नहीं थी. दिस इज वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन, इफ यू सी हियर, which of the countries in top 10 does India has trade deficit? Now again, if you see in this article, you will find here that trade deficit with 9 of the 10 countries, top 10 trading partners जो इंडिया के हैं, उसमें 9 countries के साथ नेगेटिव आप देखो आप. It's negative with the 9 countries. Only one country you see here, US, that is positive $36,742 million. इनके साथ ट्रेड सरप्लस है. बिकॉज तो प्रीलिम्स में आपसे क्वेश्चन आएगा कि ऑल टॉप 10 ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर विथ इंडिया हैज ट्रेड डेफिसिट, राइट. तो आपका ये स्टेटमेंट गलत हो जाएगा बिकॉज इफ यू सी यूएस इज नॉट द पार्ट. ओके, नाउ आई हैव आस्क्ड यू अनदर क्वेश्चन. यू सी हियर, इज डेफिसिट बीइंग ऑलवेज अ बैड फॉर द कंट्री, राइट. अब इसका आंसर देखो कहां पर है. आप देखो यहां पे, अकॉर्डिंग टू द ट्रेड एक्सपर्ट, a deficit is not always bad if a country is importing the raw material. तो स्टेटमेंट 1 अगर आपका आता है, फॉर एग्जांपल स्टेटमेंट 1, द क्वेश्चन कम हियर दैट इंडिया हैज ट्रेड डेफिसिट विद द ऑल टॉप ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर और 9 आउट ऑफ 10. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रेड डेफिसिट इज नॉट गुड फॉर द ट्रेड डेवलपिंग कंट्री लाइक इंडिया. Okay, then you should be marking it incorrect because अगर वो mandatory ऐसा कुछ statement put करते हैं, must and all such things, you have to understand that if it is importing raw material, वो deficit बुरा नहीं है developing countries के लिए, right? तो ये जो statements हैं, इसका answer, आप इकोनॉमिक के कॉन्सेप्ट में भी पढ़ोगे, बट इफ यू आर रीडिंग दोज आर्टिकल डेली बेसिस पे ये काम हो रहा है आपके साथ. Okay, understand this. Suppose this is an article. Significance of the Maldives pro China. अब मैंने आपसे कितना अच्छे से आपसे 3 क्वेश्चन पूछा है. For the last 5 years, import export data of the Maldives and Indo-China. So it's a government link I have given you from where you find all current data. Okay. Now I have asked you which of the following things we are exporting Maldives and we are importing from Maldives. Very important question. And why Maldives is important to India? How the pro-China activities is hurting India. So these all questions you find in this article. So when you prepare these articles, these articles in weekly basis, अब कितना ये article देखो आप. Can parties be de-recognized or deregistered? मतलब आप देखो third statement. Does EC has power to deregister any political party if it fails to contest election? So in your prelims statement exam, the question will come, once the party is registered, the EC cannot deregister that party at any cost under the act, right? तो आपका ये स्टेटमेंट सही है because this is a provision that once the party is registered, EC can't deregister that party. It's a provision mentioned, but this is inside this article. आप देखोगे, you can find the answer inside this article. Okay, so if party is registered and he is receiving the fund, right? He is eligible to receive the fund, and after receiving fund, he is not contesting the election. That is completely unethical. So, but EC does not have power as per the act to deregister that party. It doesn't have power. आप पहला statement देखो, which act lays down the requirement for the registration. You will find here section 29A of the RPA Act lays down the requirement for the registration of the political party. तो ये जो सारे question हैं, this all questions are related to your prelims examination. टोटल तो जो भी काम हो रहा है, इट्स ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. तो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ कि वेदर यू वांट टू डू अ प्रीलिम्स. मैंने अभी तक टिल नाउ आई हैव नॉट टॉक अबाउट द टेस्ट सीरीज. टेस्ट सीरीज आई फील इज अ वेरी सेकेंडरी पार्ट ऑफ योर यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स प्रिपरेशन. ओके, दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. बट बिफोर दैट ग्रेजुअली, जो कहते हैं ना, ग्रेजुअली आपको करते रहना चाहिए वीकली बेसिस पे टू कीप प्रीलिम्स इन टच. You should not leave the touch. This documents, these two important sessions I have first time introduced this year. It will really help you to clear this prelims examination, to keep in touch. In the end, you won't feel burdened and you will learning a lot of things weekly basis पे, and you will 100% this is effort. Okay, कोई miracle तो है नहीं, हम कोई miracle तो कर नहीं सकते. सिंपल सी बात है. It's a fact. राइट, हम कोई भी ट्रिक काम नहीं आती है. जब आप एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के अंदर होते हो, द ओनली थिंग विच विल हेल्प यू वेदर यू नो द स्टेटमेंट और यू डोंट नो द स्टेटमेंट. उसके बाद गेस वर्क यूज होता है, और गेस वर्क में से 90% टाइम योर गेस वर्क इज अगेंस्ट ऑल, और गलती होना है. राइट, तो you have to gain the maximum knowledge you want to as soon as possible if you really want to clear this prelims examination. So all the fresher, I will tell you one thing. Okay, whenever you are enrolling in the gold tide, if you are willing to, it's not kind of compulsion है, अब आपकी मर्जी है. I've explained you because every day I used to take one this thing on the call कि what exactly is the Abhyaas and what exactly the newspaper. Today I have explained you. So if you really want to do this course, so you will enroll in any of one of this course, not the other courses. Only these two courses contain these things. Okay, so if you enroll in this any one of this course, you will get everything. Okay, so please be careful about that, because right now many students are upgrading their test series. So I don't want that you pay something extra in the later. Okay, so आप बिल्कुल ध्यान से करो. If you really want this, you enroll. Otherwise, all the very best to you. You prepare wherever you go. Just work hard. Prelims is very difficult stage. You clear as soon as possible. तब आपके लिए बेटर हो जाएगा यूपीएससी जर्नी. सो वेर एवर यू गो फ्रॉम टुडे, इफ यू डोंट ज्वाइन गोल्ड टाइड ऑल्सो, प्लीज ट्राई टू इम्प्लीमेंट दीज थिंग्स इन योर ओन वे. ओके, बिकॉज ये जरूरी है करने के लिए. दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. आई नो यू पीपल डोंट डू, दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव स्टार्टेड. बट इफ यू आर नॉट ज्वाइनिंग गोल्ड टाइड, प्लीज ट्राई टू डू दिस ऑन द वीकली बेसिस. इट इज रियली गोइंग टू हेल्प यू, और आपको बहुत आगे बढ़ने में हेल्प मिलेगा. तो थैंक यू सो मच. I've explained it. If you have any query further, you can go to our website and find my number there. The number is mine. आप वहाँ पे WhatsApp करके you can take the help. Okay? So thank you so much. I'll see you today. And in a daily quiz also I'm going to prepare now. तो करते रहिए, learn करते रहिए, and just keep helping each other. Okay? Thank you so much.